Hey, Bob, guess what? Guess what?
What?
It's another edition of Let's Chat Sales.
Let's Chat Sales. Yeah.
We're kind of back from hiatus, by the way, right? We took a little time off. Well, all right. Yeah, we did.
I believe you were getting texts every couple of days. I send you videos of important topics related to the podcast and other things in life.
Oh, geez. All right. So the official purpose of this conversation is to talk about why you need to know who your customers, and the idea that you have to know your customer better, effectively better than they know themselves.
Okay. I like that. So
Yeah.
Can I ask you some questions?
Yeah, far away. Let's do it.
Okay. So first off, I don't need to know my customer because I know my solution, and my solution is amazing. And so the customer needs to figure me out. I don't need to figure them out. What would you say to that?
You see this a lot with salespeople. They have a product to sell and they just go into selling the product. They just go right into feature benefit mode and they just talk about that as though the customer is like almost secondary. And
Everyone is a customer to that.
yeah, and it's just funny to me because that just does not work. It doesn't work because unless someone comes to you and they're absolutely aligned and they've got that burning problem in that instance, you're going to deflect off somehow. They're going to pick up the vibe. You're not listening to them. You don't care about them, and they're going to shut you down. So no, that just doesn't work.
Well, it works if it's something like a plumber. If you've got a flooded basement and the water's coming out of the pipe, you call a plumber. You just want that problem solved in that moment. But so many of those solutions today are more complex. And also, I think they're really customized, right?
Right. And the example you use, the plumber, you've got a flooded basement and you need a plumber, you've already self-selected. You've gone through the process. You've evaluated, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas, and what we're talking about here is someone who doesn't know who you are. Now, that could be in a marketing sense or it could be in a sales sense. You run into someone at a cocktail party or at a conference and you have to talk to them for a bit. You don't know who they are. You don't know what their circumstances are. Whereas in the plumber example you used, they've got a problem, they've gone and they've searched, they've picked you as a plumber, and now you're basically in the position where it's your deal to lose, right? Mm-hmm. And so you know a fair amount about them just by the fact that they picked up the phone and are ringing you as opposed to the other way around.
Right,
so,
right. I got 3 feet of water in my basement. How soon can you get
there? This is qualified. These guys are qualified, right? So in our case, let's assume the customer doesn't know anything about you. So which means
that know minimally. They might know your name. I mean, I get that a lot. Oh, I've heard your name or I've seen you at a networking event.
Yeah.
That's usually as far as it goes.
Right.
I'm still waiting for that networking discussion.
Yeah. So for me, the way I think of it is you don't want to start talking about what it is you do until you understand the position that person is in. Like you want to understand what their circumstances are. You want to understand how they perceive the world, mm-hmm. right? And until you do that, you're operating at a disadvantage. So this is why you need to know your customer before the conversation at some level, if you can do some homework beforehand. But then more importantly, can you learn about the customer in the course of the conversation? And can you empathize with where they are?
Okay. And this is not asking questions like, I know you're struggling with this problem. That would not be the right approach.
Right. Well, you might no, but you could phrase it differently.
I got a phone call earlier today from someone. That was their call.
Yeah,
I know you're the owner of a business. I know you're having this problem.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, you've been listening to my prayers. How could you know that? And the guy was completely caught off guard. And I said to him, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Well, you're a business owner. You must be having this problem." And it's very off-putting because it suggests one, it made me feel like I didn't know what I was doing, which is not how you want to start a sales situation. 2, it felt very demeaning. Like you have this problem, you haven't solved it. You're really lousy. You shouldn't be a business owner.
Well, it's also not letting the customer tell you what the problem is. It's much more important. It's much more welcoming if you put yourself in a position where you're allowing the customer to talk. You're allowing the customer to say what's on their mind. Let them explain the priorities. Not only let them explain the priorities, but let them explain the priorities in terms that are meaningful to them, mm-hmm. right? So if you can get the customer to talk about what's going on in ways that matter to them, that resonate with them, that tells you a lot about how to communicate back to them.
Don't you also find at times that as they're articulating the problem, it might be the first time they've really stopped to talk through it.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
on their radar. It's been something they worry about. It's been in and out, but never have they had to explain it to a person. Every now and then you get someone who explains to you this whole problem, and then they go, wow, man, when I say it out loud, it's really bad.
Exactly. Yeah. And in fact, that's where as a salesperson, this is one of the things I think salespeople really are underrated is in their ability to kind of get the customer to think about and articulate a problem and understand it in a new way. And so a salesperson that really knows how to focus on asking the right sorts of questions and having the right level of follow-up and understanding and having a level of curiosity and having a willingness to not know everything. So that curiosity that you have as a salesperson, as a founder, as a creator, you're learning right along with them. And a certain level of surprise. Oh, I never thought about it that way. Oh, I see what you're getting.
Even if you may have.
Yeah, even if you may have.
People said that to you, right?
Right. But even so, you talk to 20 customers, you're going to run into a certain amount of variability among those 20 customers, even if they're all graphic artists or even if they're all different surgeons or whatever.
Software.
Yeah, all those
variables.
Yeah, and so it's a learning game. You're always learning. You're always seeing new angles, new patterns are going to emerge. And so this is why this whole idea of having some level of curiosity around the customer is important because it's going to inform how you talk to customers going forward. It's going to inform how you might formulate some of the solutions. It's going to dictate and help you identify new products and new features and maybe even new markets and new customers inside the same enterprise, perhaps. There are all sorts of opportunities. And so this idea of understanding your customer is kind of a long journey, and you're always on it. That's
now,
the way I would
do
look at
you
it.
take notes when you're having these types of meetings?
Yeah, I do. Not crazy notes. If I do Zoom calls,
scribble stuff down afterwards?
I do. I have And what I also try and do is, in a way, is I'll do some notes as I go along, and then on top of that is one of the things I try and do is I try and reiterate at the end of the call. Oh, this is what I heard. Did I hear that sort of thing? And then you can also reiterate
during that discussion, right?
Yeah. Okay. And because one of the things you want to leave with is, I got a lot out of this kind of a thing. I learned a lot. Here's what as I understand it, here's what we might want to do next. And so you've got the momentum for a next call. If you're in the very early stages from the discovery process and you're still in the trying to figure out what your product is, what your solution is, that sort of thing, you want an opportunity to come back around to them and test what you've understood, validate, and kind of warm them up as a potential early adopter.
So you've given me some great feedback. I want to take that back to my home, my office, and really try to work through it. Yeah. Can I get back with you in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then when you do, you're in a situation where you can say, hey, here's what I did. Here's what we thought about, and so forth. And now you're demonstrating you've listened to them. You've demonstrated that their ideas are valuable, and you've made advancements that suggest to the prospect, gee, these guys are on the right track, and I'm helping to guide them.
And they can listen well.
Yeah, you're reducing the risk for me as a purchaser, as a customer. I'm thinking, this person follows through. They listen, they execute, they do so timely, they have a respect for what I do. These are all things that make them an ideal early adopter. If they see that, like they see those sorts of things, this is the kind of customer this is the kind of vendor partner I can take a risk on.
All right, Brendan, so I know you have a course that goes into this in more detail. We're limited. We want to keep this program brief and airy. Yeah. So really quick, walk us through what that course does and how we can access it.
It runs for 30 days. It's a 30-day program. It's kind of a sprint. And the idea behind it is to get you in the right mindset in terms of sales for early founders and creators in particular. It's to help identify and articulate and understand the sales process and kind of demystify it. And then the third component is to get accountability and momentum. That's why it's 30 days. It's every day. There's a little lesson, bite-sized, 20 minutes or so, an exercise to get you in the habit of making sales part of your regular process. Because sales isn't necessarily that hard, but you have to be consistent at it. You have to execute on an ongoing basis. And so this 30 days gets you the momentum that you need to get started as an early stage founder or creator.
And it's pretty easy stuff to do.
It is.
Show me some of it. You're not expecting someone to read like the history of sales and all that. Really just giving them the nuggets they need and action steps to take to get where they need to go.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, it's stuff that you already know. You have the experience. This is a way to put it together in a framework that I use that gives it a cohesive whole. You see the whole thing. You see why I'm doing it this way and the importance of this particular fundamental step. So then you start to realize that as a founder, you've got a lot of skills already. You're just probably not applying them in the right order or with the right kind of mindset.
Okay. And now, Brendan, real quick,
Yeah.
I like this. Give me a movie or a TV show review, something I need to watch. Last time it was No Country for Old Men.
Yes. And this week it is Mythic Quest on Apple TV.
What's Mythic Quest?
It's about a game company, a video game company.
Oh.
And it's 2 seasons so far. And
is it like entrepreneur stuff and all
that? Yeah, it's got but it's funny and it's kind of
I'm out right now. I gotta go watch that.
It's good. It's really good. It's really good. I have another one that's even better.
Oh, save it.
All right.
One at a time.
All right, we'll save that next time. All right. Cool.
All right, this has been great, Brendan. I think we kicked it enough. We'll see you all real soon, right?
All right. Thanks, Bob. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that was another episode of Let's Chat Sales, a quick one, of course, and I hope it was helpful. And if it was, please like and subscribe, and more importantly, share it with your friends. And there should be something right here you could point to and click on and try that out. It should be good. It's probably good. Certainly short. It's probably helpful. And thanks for listening or watching.